So it's time to find a tenant. First of all, you're gonna start putting up some ads. We recommend free sites like Facebook Marketplace, which tends to get a lot of traffic, and other websites like Kijiji. Now with Kijiji, you do have pay options, which bumps up your ad and gets a little bit more eyeballs on the ad. So we recommend doing that. One of the keys with your ads is to put lots of pictures, lots and lots, as many pictures as the site supports. Add as much of a description of the property as possible in the verbiage, helping screen your tenants. You know, if it's not a right fit, they probably wouldn't call you. So then you're gonna post the ad and you're gonna get a bunch of people contacting you. They're gonna ask you some questions about the property, or where it is, when it can be rented out, and various things. So it's important for you to be accessible. So provide a phone number, give your tenants the option of text messaging, as well as a lot of people like to text. Be quick to respond to your tenants and look to booking appointments. In today's environment, we have a lot of people wanting to rent. So you're gonna get a lot of people responding to your ads. The best style of booking appointments that we find that works a lot is you would mark off a time slot, sort of like an open house style. So let's say Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m., you're going to have an open house for all the previous tenants who might have been interested in this property. Now, instead of giving your tenant prospects a 2 to 4 window, we recommend you giving them time slots. So Mr. A, you show up at 2 o'clock, Mrs. B, you show up at 2:15, and then 2:30 and 2:45, and so on and so forth. And what that does, instead of a whole bunch of people showing up at 2:30, at least you have some time in between. We also recommend that you have two sets of people, one who can, walk tenants through and feel the other party that might be still standing outside. So now when they contact you, it's important to set your expectations right off the top. So if you're getting a lot of interest, which we tend to see lately, you want to try to screen the tenants on the phone. Is it a right fit? What do they do for work? How much money does the family income look like? And do they have any credit issues? My recommendation is to speak with them. So prior to booking an appointment to meeting, speak to them. Kind of pre-screen them over the phone. And the main requirements in pre-screening is get a sense of who they are, how many people are moving to the home, where they live, why they are moving, what type of property are they looking for, if your property that you are renting out has certain specifications, i.e. maybe it's behind a school, or perhaps it's a duplex with a separate apartment in the basement. You want to let your tenant prospects know about this so that you can determine if it is a right fit for them. So it's important to do a sort of a basic screening on the phone so you don't waste their time or your time at the appointment, at the open house per se. Then you've got your tenants now showing up on the day of the open house, let's say. So at this point, it's important that you're asking them questions a little bit more in detail. So the basic requirement that we're going to use is 33% of your income to rent. So for example, if your rent is $2,000 a month that you are charging, you want your tenant prospects, the family, to be making approximately $6,000 gross. So that's before taxes. So if they're making $6,000, they need to pay some taxes. They're down to about $5,000. They got to pay some utilities. They're down to $4,000. They've got to eat and buy clothes. They're down to $3,000. And the rest they have left over to pay you. Okay, so that's kind of the mindset behind the 33%. Okay, so now we're down to, if you like what you hear on the phone, go ahead and set up an appointment for them to meet you. We recommend, again, an open house style. Open house style is great because you free up your day, let's say on a Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. only, as opposed to running here on Wednesday and Friday and Sunday again. Free up a time, Saturday 2 to 4, and line up all your tenants in 15-minute increments. And that way, you get this auction effect, right? So you got people standing outside. They know there's more people inside. There's someone in front of them, someone behind them. So, the auction effect kicks in and they want it now. So that tends to work. Very important when you meet with the people, you get a sense, you want to look at a gut feeling. Okay, how do you jive with this person? Do they seem like someone you can manage going into a relationship as a tenant? Okay, that's very important. So now let's pretend the tenant is interested in your property. You would at that point hand them an application for rent, and you would have them fill it out and email it to you perhaps tomorrow. So you're going to get now a bunch of applications. You're going to look at all your applications, and you're going back to your income. Okay, so that's very important. Are they working? Where do they work? How long have they been at their job? What is their title? Okay, that's important. Then you're looking at their credit bureau. So if they are able to print out a credit bureau somewhere, there are links for Equifax, for example. You can go on there and have them print out an Equifax. You can use a Credit Karma, which almost everyone has access to it on a phone. These are various ways to look at the credit bureau. You're going to ask them for list of their current and past landlords. You want a list of names. It's important to call the past landlords, as it's going to give you an idea of the type of tenant you're dealing with. Now, the rule of thumb is it doesn't matter to the most part where they are living at today, because possibly that landlord wants to get rid of them for whatever reason and is going to tell you what you need to hear. So it's important to go back to the previous landlord, so not the present, the previous landlord and the previous landlord if you can, and that's where you will get an honest opinion on your tenant. Okay, background check. So it's the same thing. You're calling their references, their employer, you're double checking your tenant profile. Income verification. So although they're going to put down what their income is, you want to verify this stuff by confirming with their employer, perhaps a pay stub, perhaps direct deposits into their bank account, various ways to confirm this kind of stuff. That's it. There are two companies as well that do a great job on screening your tenants. One is neighborly.com, and you're looking at about $25, $35. And what they do is they pretty much screen the tenant. They look at their income, they look at their employment, they look at their credit bureau, they project outcomes, they look at a rental history, they do a financial analysis, and they even, I think they get into their bank account with the consent of the tenant and give you an idea of what the bank account summary looks like. So for $25, $35, it's a great tool in the self-management process to get a summary, and then they give you a score on the tenant. So there's neighborly.com, and then the other company is Single Key. Okay, both very good companies that you can use in your toolkit to help screen out tenants. Now that you have all of your information, you're going to put down all your applications and write out the pros and cons of each of them. Okay, and then you're going to pick one. Use your gut, because you met these people. Use that as a guiding tool, and use the income and the credit bureau as a secondary tool to help identify your best tenant. So hope this information was very helpful. If you like this stuff, hit subscribe and like this video. I do appreciate your time. Have a wonderful day.